Today we are here to talk about intellect and creativity. No one has intellect and creativity like the Babylonians. We have many works of art, but our greatest work of art is the city of Babylon itself. The greatest city in the world. Our walls are bigger and stronger than any others. Our palace is grander than any other. Our ziggurats really speak for themselves. The canals we built to prevent the flooding of our city was genius.
We built you a replica of one of my great obelisks. On each side we have written our individual cartouches. When the sun's light looks upon the obelisk, a shadow will move to form a sort of sundial. We can divide the day into two parts by signifying noon, and also show the year's longest and shortest days by marking the length of the shadow on the ground.
Obviously, I am God Thoth. I'm here today to talk to you about the writings of Egypt. I invented writing. Egypt has been using writing for ages and ages. We were able to use our ability to write with hieroglyphs to preserve our knowledge for future generations. My scribes use hieratic writing for religious texts, much like my Book of the Dead. Hieratic writing is a much faster way to write than more formal hieroglyphics. This writing was written down mostly on our papyrus paper.
And as one of the most prolific philosophers in Rome to date, I feel it's my duty to inform you of these beliefs and thoughts we have about our lives. Many of these thoughts come from my writings, meditations, which even though I did write for myself, do reflect what we Romans believe. I like to describe it as in life, there are three ordeals that we live by. 1, desires and aversions, the impulses to act and not to act, freedom in conception, a hasty judgment, and anything else in the physical world. Basically physical, ethical, and logical.
One of the ways we Romans also like to express our creativity is through the arts of theater. Now, you can go to any one of the many theaters inside of the Roman Empire and see dramas, tragedies, comedies, works of such as Seneca and Gaius Melissus. But one of the also things we like to do to express our creativity is through improv theater, which we Romans invented at the Attilan farce in Rome.
Rìyü. So as my counterpart was saying, this is my great theater that the great Greeks of the town of Delphi have built for me. It is built at the top of the hill. The town is lower down. It sits right above my great temple of Apollo that my great Greek people built for me. All of the theaters generally built in Greece were built on slopes so they could naturally build a kind of half-circle seating arrangement, and that would go up, and that also enclosed to help echo sound every seat from the stage, since there was no magic way to permit sound or anything.
I'm Frederick Barbosa. One thing about our society that's really cool is that music is such an integral part to our society. You go out in the streets, you'll hear people playing. You go to the churches and you'll hear this beautiful music emanating from it like the grace of God. And what we have in our music that separates us is that it's structured. These other guilds, they don't have written way to write it. They don't have a way to pass it on except for orally. So if you don't know someone who knows how to play a certain song, you can't play it. So along with that, we also invented something we call the modes, and I'm sure many of you have heard it. It goes da 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 da, and that is very integral to music writing, and it allows people playing the lute and stuff to go on these little crazy solos.
Today, Rìyü, we have brought you a representation of one of our war elephants. As you can see, we have a blanket with armor to help protect them. Our soldiers sit on top, and from where they can shoot arrows, throw daggers, and other weapons. Some of our elephants are even trained to swing weapons. The elephant is crucial to our military.
We are all gathered here today to pay our respects to the first Emperor Shimondi. In life, he was a great leader and unifier. He brought our empire together in a time of trouble and war when no one else could. He rose from the ashes of the warring states and alone stood tall. He served an essential and untested role. He was what China needed. He alone unified our land. He was a strong and relentless ruler, and he will not be easily forgotten. He made several advancements in our empire, such as unifying the metric system, unifying currency with the Banglian coin, and constructing an empire-wide road system. Without him, the caste system would not have been abolished. Without him, China would not have been able to move forward. Without him, China would be nothing. He was great in life, and he will be great in death. The Taoists believe that life and death are just two different forms of reality. I, enlightened, will show this truth to you.
I am Shinwandi, enlightened now. If you have forgotten, that is my name. I came to power, as my fellow guild members had stated, by unifying the lands alone and becoming the first emperor.
Today I do not come to you as an emperor or as a general, but as a passionate son of Rome. As a boy, I was raised by my father and taught that there was no greater achievement than to lead honorably and bring glory to my people. But I do not just see the glory of Rome in its beautiful pillars and in monuments. I see it in her people. I see it in their hard work and their resilience. We pride ourselves on being Roman because of the strength and unity we see in each other. I come today to represent them, the little boys and girls running through the streets playing and learning, their mothers who instill Roman morals and values upon them, and their fathers who courageously protect them. I ask you, Rìyü, to close your eyes and imagine what an alliance between our two cities would mean, not to just our people, but the children, mothers, and fathers of your own city.
Namaste, Rìyü, CM, the rest of the guilds. I just want to say it's really been a pleasure listening to all you guys talk, and I feel like we've learned a lot of things from you guys. As China mentioned earlier, we are very religiously open-minded people. We're very open-minded in general, so maybe there is a guild that might be better suited to your needs. I mean, it would be a lie for us to sit here and say that we have things that we don't have. But what we do have is a very stable culture, deep-rooted in education and faith.
I'm Frederick Barbosa, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Our society is really not that pretty. Our life is short and brutal. But there's something that we can offer you that these other guilds can't, and that's that we know how to survive. We have every kind of catastrophe that has happened to us. We have had plagues. We have had external warfares. We've had the Mongols come in. We've had the heathenistic Slavs and the Vikings come in and pillage our lands. We have had famines that have just destroyed all of our crops. But through all of this, we have lived.
Thank you.